Good morning. This is Friday, and it is the 2nd of February, 2018. And this is Ron. Welcome to Storytime. And this is, again, this is Ron. It's story time, and this is the story time extra. Every other day, I do a little extra segment where I talk about my either life experiences or matters of opinion. And today's going to be a life experience where I'm going to discuss my experiences with a group called Ticket Snipers. Many of you may have seen billboard signs around town, and I live in Pasadena, California, and so around the LA area, there are billboard signs that say, "Don't pay that ticket. Don't pay that moving violation. Call Ticket Snipers, and we'll fight it for you." So I got the website address. I went onto the website, and it actually gave me a new company with a different name to it. But it was basically the same idea, where you give them the information, pay them at least $100, and then they provide a defense for you. So one of the things that I didn't know going into this until I had to fill out some paperwork later on was that these people are not attorneys. They're not attorneys. So I thought it was a law firm, but it's not. It's not a law firm, and the people that do this are not attorneys. So that's number one. The other thing is that when you first start off, so you get on their website and you fill out a questionnaire, and they explain that they don't deal with parking tickets and they don't deal with any ticket that's overdue. In other words, when you get a moving violation, one of the things that the police officer puts on the ticket is your court date. And so if it's past the court date, these people won't help you. You know, you're on your own. Mine wasn't. I got to it early, so I went ahead and filled out the information, and then they, on the website, let you know how much it's going to cost. In my case, it was $138 to go ahead and have them provide me with a defense. So I agreed, I paid, and then they had me do another questionnaire. What happened? When happened? What was the weather like? The whole bit. How did I get pulled over? When did I get, the whole 9 yards of exactly what it is that happened. And also whether or not I'm willing to accept court, but traffic school. If I'm willing to go to traffic school. And so I fill all that out, and then what happens is that they put in the mail my defense, right? So all in writing, and the way it works, one of the things I didn't know about dealing with traffic court is that you don't have to show up. You don't have to appear. You can do it. You can contest the citation via the mail. There's a form you fill out, and you ask for a trial, basically a trial in writing, right? So you provide all your information, all my rationale for why I should be found not guilty, etc. And that's what they do. They provide me with all the forms. I sign the forms. The forms are already pre-filled out. All I have to do is sign them and sign my declaration, which is basically the statement of why I don't think I should be found guilty. I'm pleading not guilty. And there was also a little blurb, hey, by the way, if you do happen to find me guilty, I want traffic court. So you fill all that out or sign it and then cut a check, because if you're going to go to court over the ticket, you're going to fight it. They want you to post the bail. And so the bail on this particular case was on this particular ticket was $238. So I cut a check to the county. I filled out the paperwork, made a copy of it, mailed it in. So then I got a statement back from the county, the court, that said, we received your everything, and you'll know about what the verdict is within about, I think they said after January 15th or something. And I sent this in back in, October, I guess. So sure enough, the other day I got something from the county, and I opened it up, and they'd ruled against me. I was found guilty, and The sentence, of course, was the $238, so they just basically kept that, because if I had won, then what they're going to do is they're going to take the bail money and return it to me. So now the only thing that the judge put on there was, on the form that was sent to me, was that he disregarded, not testimony, but evidence that was inadmissible, disregarded inadmissible evidence. That's all it says. It doesn't say which evidence that supposedly I provided was inadmissible. But one of the other things, if I recall correctly, I'll have to look at the paperwork that I submitted. But I think, because I was thinking about it and thinking about it, I thought, you know what? I think the one thing that we forgot to do on this particular form, or in this particular case when I'm making my statement, was actually say, by the way, I didn't do it. Because it was very thorough the way the Ticket Sniper people did it. Is there was like 4 pages of the officer has to be in uniform, the sign has to be, has to be visible, and this has to happen, that has to happen, and all kind. It was very, actually seemed very thorough and very impressive. But the one part in there that I don't recall they said was that, hey, by the way, I pulled up to this sign, I stopped, I waited until it turned green, then I made my right turn. Therefore, the officer is wrong, and I should be exonerated. I don't think that kind of a statement was actually in there. Everything else was in there, but not that. So the other thing I've got in there is when they sent me the verdict, then there's also a form where I get to do what's called a trial de novo. In other words, I get a new trial. The other thing that was interesting is that he found me guilty and didn't give me traffic court. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why he didn't do that. But perhaps the way it works is that in order to get not traffic court, but traffic school, you have to plead guilty. I don't know. And so maybe that's, again, the part of the paperwork, for having a new trial. So I do a new trial and plead guilty and take traffic school. So I might end up doing that. Or I can go ahead and ask for the new trial, and this time put in the information that was left out on the other, on my original pleading. So that could very well be. But that's some decisions I'm going to have to make. I got to look at whether or not I might not, if it's not going to affect me other than the insurance, I may decide that I'm going to, and if it doesn't affect me too badly each month, if I'm not going to get, really ripped over this, then, I may just let it go the way it is. Just, I'll take the hit. But I have another 12 days to decide, because they said you have 20 days to decide whether or not, if you're going to put in for a new trial, you got 20 days from the date that it was, that the court put on the document, which was January 25th. So I got 12 more days to figure out whether or not I want to do this. So I'm going to have to go look at my original pleading and also check with some of the people that I work with, the companies that I work with, to see whether or not a moving violation is going to be a problem or an issue, and check with my insurance company and find out how much it's going to cost me if I don't go to traffic school. Because traffic school seems, at first blush, that's the way to go, but it costs money. As far as last I heard, I think it was $250 just to go to the school. And then I got to take a day off, and I'm self-employed. So I take the whole day off plus $250. So that's actually, for me, could be $350 or $400, because I'm not going to get paid during that day that I'm off. So I'm going to lose business there. So perhaps it's better that I just skip the school and just take the hit on my insurance. And I don't know. But anyways, I got to find out, do some research and figure out what it is I'm going to do with this. But I thought I'd let everybody know this was my experience with Ticket Snipers and how it works. You pay for it, you get your information. If you're going to do this, again, that's the one thing I would say is make sure you let these folks know, either on the website or you can also talk to them over the phone that you didn't do it. You say, if it's a speeding thing, then make sure that they put on the paperwork, I was not speeding. I traveled, according to under the speed limit. If it was some other type of moving violation, make sure that gets put in there because I think, like I said, that I may have lost simply because we omitted the most important statement of all, which is my testimony that, gee, I didn't do it. So, but like I said, I'll have to double check the paperwork to find out whether or not that is indeed the case. And price-wise, seemed like it was fairly reasonable. $138 isn't, outrageous for this kind of a situation. And other than that one little disappointment, the rest of it, like I said, the rest of the documentation, the way they handle it, was impressive. It seemed very professional, like they knew what they were talking about, really knew what they were doing. Other than for the one statement that was omitted, they seem to do an excellent job. So something you might want to consider in the future if you end up with a moving violation is to check out Ticket Snipers or a company similar to Ticket Snipers. So tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to be back to the regular story time reading, but I'm not sure as of yet what exactly it is that I'm going to be reading. So we'll leave it as a mystery until tomorrow. And until then, thank you very much for joining me and have a great day.